Hi, this is Dave Chenault with Skylight Systems, and in this video, I'm going to show you how you can do outbound email marketing with SideKick 365 CRM and another tool that we recommend called MailStyler 2. This combination, along with Microsoft Flow, is going to give you an unbelievable capability to do simple outbound email campaigns and things like newsletters. We're not trying to replace MailChimp, things like that. Rather, we're trying to give you a simple, low-cost way to create outbound emails for groups of people. And so we're going to show you today how to do that and the tools that we recommend. So let's start at the end. Let's say that you wanted to have an email like this delivered to many of your customers. And you can see here that the from is SideKick 365, and you can see the title. And then here is a nice email with a lot of capabilities built into it that you can send out. And we build that using a tool called MailStyler 2. Now, MailStyler 2 is really nice because it's got a drag and drop capability and a lot of nice functionality where you can create your own newsletters, and then you can export those out for SideKick 365 CRM to use. And the price on this is around $99 US, so it's a very low-cost solution that is just terrific. We really like this and recommend it highly. And just to give you an idea, if you wanted to create something like this on your own, let's take a look at what that code might look like. So I'm going to open up a MailStyler campaign that I created, and we'll look at the code that goes behind that email newsletter that went out. And you can see that it's pretty extensive. It goes and goes and goes and goes. So rather than you trying to code all that yourself, the idea is that you would use a tool like MailStyler to create these with a drag and drop interface, and then you just export it out using this capability here to create an HTML file. And the images are hosted up in a service that they offer. So from my point of view, it's very, very hard to beat the price point and capabilities of this tool to create your newsletters. And then let's just take a look and see what you do to make this go out to all of the people you want over in SideKick. So we'll start that process now. So over in SideKick, what you're going to notice is we have an idea called a campaign group. And a campaign group is a listing of people that you want to use with an outbound email or an outbound, let's say, event that you're out promoting. And the way that you create these is you can go into your contacts and you make a view in the contact, just like you would in a normal SharePoint app. So if you look here, I have groups that start with A. I have an all contacts. I have a custom group. So let's say the last name starts with A. And all I did is I went into SharePoint, anyone that knows SharePoint can see that I came into the list settings and I set this so that the last name starts with A. And I'll just do that real quickly to show you how I did that. So I'll go in here to modify this view. And what you'll see is down here in the filtering, I just said last name begins with A. Okay, so I went ahead and I created a list view in the contacts module. Okay, and I called that one last name starts with A. Now I'm going to want to go ahead and create a campaign group. And so to do that, I just go into the groups and I say new group. And then when I come into the groups, I'm going to select, I'll just say Dave starts with a 2, something like that, right? If I could type. And I will select the starts with A and select it. And what you'll see is it goes out and grabs all those. Now I can go ahead and get rid of certain ones in here if I wanted to. And I can also add in additional people. So maybe I want to add in Alan Steiner, let's just say. And I put his email in here, and he's Alan S. at skylightsystems.com. So you can see that I can just add in users as I need to. Okay, and I'll save that. And we'll take a look at that. Dave starts with 2 again. And when you come in, you'll see that I have that new person that I added into this. Now, what I did is I made a list view that had the last name starting with ZZ, the letter Z and the letter Z. And so what I can do with that one is that's a completely custom one. And I can say, let's make a custom 2. And I'm going to use the ZZ, but I know that behind that's going to be my custom group. I'll select that and it's empty. So now I can add whoever I want in. I can say Dave C at skylightsystems.com. That would be the email address, so I'll put that over here. And I'll just call it Dave C. And I'll save this. So this just has me in it, okay? And if I go take a look at custom 2, you'll see it has just that one entry, okay? Now let's go ahead and make a campaign with that. So what I'm going to do now is make a new campaign, and I'm going to use that group that I just created. So I say new items, and I'll say mail styler 3, right? And I'm going to go ahead and make it a mailer, and I'll have the date as today. And I want to send that out today, and I'll click this box so it sends it, and I'll just say sample for video. And I'm going to use that new one that I just made, custom 2. And the subject on the email is going to say Dave's new email. And then the HTML is going to be the HTML I exported from MailStyler. And I know that's over here. I have this in the notepad. And you can see it's a lot of stuff. So let's go back over here and just paste that in. You don't want to write this yourself, trust me. And now I've got all that in there, and let's just save it. And now we're ready to go. We have a new MailStyler 3 set up. I can see that it's a sample for the video is the description. It's going to say Dave's new email. And since I realize now I have the same name, let's just rename that. So I'll edit that, and I'll call it 4. And remember that you can use these in opportunities, accounts, projects, contacts, all over the place. So if you end up getting, let's say, a new opportunity or a new account based on one of these campaigns, you can make note of that and you can start to measure that. Because if you can't measure it, you don't know how effective you're being. So these campaigns are very useful when you're looking at accounts and opportunities and projects and contacts and where did they come from? Well, they could have come from these different campaigns. Now the last step is we want to run this MailStyler 4, right? So what we did is we created a nice flow to do this. And the flow can be set up to run automatically at night, or it can set it, whenever you want. So I'm going to go ahead and run it. And we'll see here that the flow just kicked off. And we'll open it up. It's already done. It's pretty fast. And it went through, and since there was only one email, it didn't take too long. But you can see the steps it went through. And now if I go to my inbox and take a look, you can see here that I have this new email that just came in. I'm going to pop that out. So you have to see my inbox there. And you can see that MailStyler that I created over here and exported is now sitting in my inbox, which is pretty awesome. And so just to recap how we did this, we started off over in the contacts module, and we created a view of the contacts that we wanted to make as a basis for the outgoing email campaign or the newsletters, etc. And we just did that with the simple views that we have in SharePoint. You just create a new one. Then I created a campaign group. And when I went into campaign groups, I was able to go in and select that contact list view as the starting point, or it could be custom. In this case, I did a custom one, and I'll look at my group here was custom. Dave starts with a 2, or it could be my group, etc. We'll just look at that one again. And I could have picked this one here with the A's or the custom one that I used earlier. And then I went ahead and went into the campaigns and just picked that group as the basis of that campaign. So in this case, I used custom 2. Let's go look at that campaign group and see what's in custom 2. And you'll see it just has me. And remember, I had just a ZZ in there. And the last thing I did was I started a flow to go into that and see how many needed to be mailed today based on what I put in that contact list, based upon the campaign group, and based upon when I wanted it to go out. And the end result was getting an email like this in my inbox. So covered a lot of ground there. I know you're probably a little dizzy. You can watch this a couple of times just to make sure everything makes sense. But the bottom line is that SideKick 365 CRM paired up with Microsoft Flow and MailStyler 2 is going to give you an awesome capability to do outbound emails and then be able to track how effective those emails are and how they impact your business by noting those whenever you, let's say, added a new account or go in and modify one. So if I go in here to account, for example, you'll see I have the drop down for the campaign here, and you can see those different ones that I set up. So if I got a hit, let's say on MailStyler 4, I could note that here, and then I can build all kinds of reports to see how effective it was. So I think if you stop and think about what this means, I mean, if you look at like what's required to make all this work, it's Office 365, that's it. And then get the MailStyler to make your newsletters, and you're good to go. And if you compare what this would cost in any other system, I mean, I've got to believe it's a lot. A lot. And so I hope you found this to be a very interesting demo. If you have questions, go ahead and shoot us an email at info@SkylightSystems, and we will constantly be improving this solution that we offer here, SideKick 365 CRM, with new capabilities with Flow, Power Apps, and all these additional capabilities coming to the web that run in conjunction with your Office 365 subscription. Thanks again. This is Dave Chenault.